Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. It's Sunday right now. It's right before church. We got here a little bit early. I don't know how that happened. I felt like I was running behind all morning, and then somehow we're here early. It's fine. Mike and Frankie are going inside. They have breakfast at church before they have choir practice, and so sometimes we bring separate cars. It just depends on life, because sometimes the animals take me longer in the morning, and things happen and whatever. So yesterday we had a busy afternoon. Mike and Frankie were working on some stuff in the shop and sorting out some of her tools and whatnot, and I was working on some stuff in the house, and then we decided that the next step for Frankie's truck was to take the truck bed off, because the gas tank is like right behind the driver's seat in the truck bed, like underneath. And so they're getting a gas tank conversion something or other kit to move it so that it's in a safer spot, and will be less leaky and fumy and whatever in the cab, so that don't drive for 5 minutes and get a gasoline high. If you've ever ridden in an old truck, exactly, you can smell it in your head right now what that is. So they were working on that yesterday, so that video is coming out tomorrow for you guys, Tuesday. So make sure you check it out. I haven't even started working on it yet, but I offloaded all my footage, and hopefully we'll start working on it this afternoon before I have to take her back to youth. I think we're gonna try to go to Tupelo. Mike wants to get Frankie a bigger toolbox to kind of put all her tools in, because she's sort of got things a little scattered in his shop right now, so that she can kind of go right to them and work on them and have them right there, and kind of get that squared away. And then Tuesday I am picking up 2 more ewe lambs. They're not too far away, only about an hour and a half, and they are still relatively young and small, so I do not have to hook up the trailer. Since I'm only getting 2, I'm going to use my big, I call it my livestock guardian dog crate. It's my biggest crate that I have that should fit 2 smaller ewes with no problems, especially for such a shorter drive. It's not like we're driving 8 hours, and go pick them up on Tuesday and get them home. Now these 2 are registered. If you guys remember, Sai, our ram, our Katahdin ram, is registered from a registered line, and these girls are registered, and the idea being that while I may take the ones from the 5 ewes that we have now, the lambs, to auction, the ones that I will have that will be from the registered girls and the registered boy, I may try to sell those individually, because some people care about registered, or they want them for FFA or whatever. So I'm gonna try that a little bit, and I was able to find some that, even though they're registered, they're not crazy expensive. So that's good. So it made sense to go ahead and do it. But I just have to remember, because today is already getting a little shifted around from what I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be real with you guys today. The only reason that I am up and here at church, I fully thought today was children's church, which is the kids lead the whole service. One of our older kids does the sermon, the kids run the choir, like the whole 9 yards, and Frankie and some of her friends from church are going to be singing. And I was like, oh, well, I can't miss this Sunday, because Sunday lunch got canceled and all these things. And I thought, oh man, I could sleep in. I could just stay home, work on a few things, just get a head start on my editing. I could do X, Y, and Z, but then I was like, I can't, it's children's church. So then on the way in today, I was like, so you're singing today, do you have to go in and practice? And she's like, no, that's next week. And I'm like, okay. Now, when I miss church, which is not very often, and it's usually every single time has been because I was ill, or out of town, I still pull it up on my phone and watch the sermon live, or close to it if I'm like traveling or something. I still watch it when I'm not there. So it's not like I was gonna dip completely, but every once in a while I just, anyway. So I was like, well, I'm still here. I still made it. So much for that. But I was thinking I was gonna get a couple other things done this afternoon, but Mike's like, no, can we go to Tupelo? And I was like, I don't want to drive to Tupelo, but he wants to get a couple things for Frankie for her tools, and they went through like 5 side grinder discs yesterday on trying to get this truck bed off, because, well, you'll see in the video, but let's just say this thing was screwed on, welded on, had a second false bottom, all the things, and it would not detach from the frame. Like, it took some effort. So they were like, we went through all the side grinder discs we have. And so anyway, Home Depot it is, I think, today. But that's all right. It is what it is. That's life. But I do need to try this week, or at least this coming weekend. I'm gonna have to like put my foot down a little bit and be like, we need to process birds, because I have 50 new birds coming, which doesn't affect the birds out in the pasture right now, but it will in a few weeks. So I need to get on that. I really wanted to get some done this week. That didn't happen because we had bad weather like every day, and it wasn't like horrible storms or anything. There was a couple of times pretty bad, and it was the days that I was like, oh, I could do this today. No, horrible weather. And not that you can't process in bad weather, but in one good thing, it does keep the flies down, but it's just generally pretty miserable to like be out there if it's like sweltering hot or really nasty out, like rainy, thunder, lightning, all the things. And it was thunder, lightning, all the things. So I didn't really want to be out there processing. But maybe this weekend, like Friday or Saturday, I think I can do that. I have to look at the calendar. I know our anniversary is like the next couple of days, but I think it's next week. I don't know what day it is today, if I'm being very honest. I know it's like the end of April. We're getting close. It's wrapping up, but I don't know what day our actual anniversary falls on. And we talked about going to dinner, but I don't know what day we're doing that either. So one of my church people is looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself in the car before church, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But anyway, so I need to get them sorted. I need to do at least 15. I could think off the top of my head, I've got at least 15 that I could process out right now and be happy with them, with their size. They're not super small, but they're not chunked out yet, and if I could get through 15 of them, that will dwindle my numbers a little bit, and then, give them another week or two, and then do a bunch more, maybe potentially all. Sometimes I will hold over the older hens because they do tend to take a little longer, and they're all what do you call it, word just went out of my head, straight run. Thank you. So you get to mix your boys and girls, but I do have not very many boys in this batch, I have noticed. So which is unusual. Usually it really is closer to 50-50. This is more like 70-30 female, I would say, in this batch. Maybe even 75% female. There's definitely a lot of girls in this group, which is fine. But it just means that sometimes they're going to take a little longer. They're going to take a little longer to get a little bigger, which is fine. And we had planned on building we had planned on building 2 more chicken tractors, but then we skipped a batch of birds because we had all the tornadoes, and so they canceled our birds, and I couldn't, if I tried to get another batch, it was going to be like in the middle of summer, which meant we were going to be processing into August and September, which we definitely didn't want to do because a lot of times they won't even make it through that heat that we have here during that time. So it's not worth trying, in my opinion, and not worth the headache of it. So we just decided to do the 2 batches instead of the 3 batches. It would be nice if I had one more tractor, but I don't. So that I do need to make sure this first batch, I am going to have to process them all sooner rather than later, so that when this batch goes in, I can let these guys go a little longer if I need to to get them bigger, but this first group is going to need to be done smaller. In fact, if I can get through maybe, you know, closer to half of them, like 25 this next week or weekend, that would honestly be ideal. So we might try to do that, but we'll see. So there you go. I got to get in there, get my seat for church. Love you, appreciate you. Remember, stay blessed, and safety's off.